Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video, and we've got a big reveal for today. We've got no information. It was radio silence, and of course, it's because they're working on the other specs. But finally, that radio silence is broken on Resto Druid and Feral Druid, as we're going to see updates to their class moving forward into the next expansion. This information is going to be vital for whether or not you're going to want to pick this class as a main or an alt, or even really pay any attention to it. And if you want to make sure that you're staying up to date with news and changes related to World of Warcraft to always enhance your experience maximally, then do hit that subscribe button, as I am trying my hardest to be an excellent resource for that cause. And I am working towards the long-term goal of getting to 100,000 subscribers and would greatly appreciate your support. So let's just get started here. Greetings, Feral Druids. We are excited to share that there is a new version of the Feral Tree in the next beta update. These are some meaty changes you can really sink your claws into. With new talents, lots of revisions, and changes to the tree layout. Here's some of what we're intending with these changes. Identity. Now, this is a really important component. At its core, Feral's gameplay is about applying and maintaining powerful bleeds on enemies, then spending additional combo points on Ferocious Bites for more damage. In 9.2.5, Ferocious Bite is extremely powerful and extends Rip with Sabertooth, which can lead to it taking over your rotation. Our goal for this tree is to get back to bleeds, especially Rip being the center of your damage and gameplay again, with Ferocious Bite adding additional damage when you have the combo points for it. We've changed or removed any effects that dynamically extend bleed duration, so maintaining bleeds will always be a part of your rotation. So going back to a core bleed build of Feral Druid, likely going to be lowering its kind of burst damage, but sustained single target and possibly AoE, something that Feral hasn't had in a long time. I feel like Warlords of Draenor was the last time I saw Feral Druids playing with things like Warlocks as well. So this is going to be really good for your multi-dot. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out, but it sounds like they want to remove Ferocious Bite as an option. Let's see if there's more to it. We've added several options to make bleeds more interesting or useful in different situations. Primal Wrath has been moved near the top of the tree to give Feral an AoE combo point spender early. There are also new talents to do things like briefly increase all Rip damage, consume part of the Rip's duration to deal some of its damage instantly, or make Ferocious Bite hit nearby bleeding targets. These new tools should also enable you to get full value out of every combo point in AoE combat. We've also returned a lot of Berserk's current power to the first point you spend in it, while keeping some additional talents to make it stronger and adding some new ones. So it does seem like they want to move entirely away from it, being Ferocious Bite. So if you want to be like a bursty druid, that might not be an option anymore with this, although it is going back to a type of druid play that hasn't been viable in a really long time. Complexity. We pay a lot of attention to gameplay complexity. Feral has some talents that increase the complexity of its rotation in exchange for power. The challenge with these types of abilities, especially in Dragonflight's talent trees, is that if they're strong, they can feel required. In the case of Blood Talons and Brutal Slash, we added alternatives for players who want most of the power without the complexity. In the case of Savage Roar, we removed it. We prefer Feral's combo point spenders to focus on maintaining bleeds and weaving in Ferocious Bites when possible. So really hard committing to a bleed build. If you want to be a bleed Feral Druid, this seems to be the expansion for you. Choice. Many of the new talents are about giving Feral players tools to customize their gameplay in the direction they prefer. There are, of course, talents that strengthen AoE or single target damage, though you should always feel capable in both scenarios. But other options allow you to customize how much energy regeneration you have, how powerful your combo point builders are, and how often you need to refresh your bleeds, or how powerful your Berserk and Tiger's Fury cooldowns are. We're excited to hear your feedback on these changes and for you to have an opportunity to play with them. Here is what is coming. And they've given a new layout of the tree: Circle of Life and Death at the bottom, Incarnation, and Adaptive Swarm. So really heavily focused on bleed, kind of energy uptime, the way that I'm seeing these icons play out right now. And I don't see anything really oriented to Ferocious Bite. So if you want to be a biting druid, you're probably not going to be biting anymore. Let's look at the new talents. Protective Growth. New talent in row 2. Your regrowth protects you, reducing all damage you take by 3% while it is on you. Just a little minor damage reduction. Improved Bleeds, just cutting down the overall ranks, which is really good. Pouncing Strikes. New talent row 3. Granting extra damage and combo points to Shred and Rake when striking from stealth. Okay, so just getting a stronger opener. Tireless Energy, also likely with Incarn, going to be really powerful. Tireless Energy, renamed from Max Energy, changed to 2 ranks from 3 and grants 2% haste per rank, just some extra haste. Sabertooth now increases Ferocious Bite damage by 20% and increases damage dealt by Rip by 4% for each combo point spent for 4 seconds. Piercing Claws, new talent, row 4, critical strike chance. Double Clawed Rake, new talent, row 4. Rake also applies Rake to 1 additional nearby target. So focused on trying to get like your AoE going up faster on things like Mythic Plus Trash. This is going to be something that might not be that great in PvP if you're, accidentally spreading your bleed. So a little bit kind of reluctant towards that. But if you're playing with Warlocks or focused on maybe some Shadow Priest play, then you could do a lot of damage in PvP. Sudden Death changed to 2 ranks, down from 3, grants 5% crit as if from stealth per rank, up from 1%. Dreadful Bleeding, new talent, rip damage increased, just flat rip damage. Berserk replaces Berserk Relentlessness. Berserk now grants combo point refund on finishing moves and causes Rake and Shred to deal damage as if stealthed. Tear Open Wounds, new talent, row 5. Primal Wrath consumes up to 4 seconds of rip damage on its target and deals 75% of it instantly. Taste for Blood, just reduced in ranks. Ferocious Frenzy, new talent, row 6. Ferocious Bite also hits nearby enemies within 8 yards, afflicted by rip for 25% damage. Deals reduced damage over 8 targets. Again, trying to get your AoE up there. Curious to see how this plays out. It's a lot to juggle comparatively to a lot of AoE on other classes. Infected Wounds now also increases rake damage, flat rake damage increase. Choice Note, Raging Fury, new talent. Finishing moves extend the duration of Tiger's Fury by 0.2 per combo point spent, or Frantic Momentum. Finishing moves have a 3% chance per combo point spent to grant 10% haste for 6 seconds. So a chance to get kind of like a little mini Bloodlust, or a chance to just continue to extend your cooldown. Berserk, Heart of the Lion, new talent. Each combo point spent reduces the cooldown of Berserk. Some cooldown reduction on it. Berserk Frenzy no longer causes combo point generating abilities to reduce the cooldown of Berserk. No longer causes combo point. Why would you want to do that? Wild Slashes, new talent, row 7. Choice Node with Brutal Slash. Swipe and Thrash also just deal more damage. And Bite Force, new talent. Choice Node with Blood Talents, Ferocious Bite and Rip just deal more damage. Choice Node, Vein Ripper, new talent. Rip and Rake and Thrash last longer. Rip and Tear, new talent. Applying Rip to a target also applies a Tear that deals X damage per combo point spent over 6 seconds. So just even more bleeds. Feral Frenzy and Apex Predators are now standalone talents. Ashamane's Guidance was a modal cooldown bonus, gives auto attacks a chance to trigger Incarnation for 6 seconds, or reduce Convoke the Spirit's duration by 25%, and gives it an increased chance to trigger a powerful spell, so just bringing the legendary forward. They removed improved Tiger's Fury, improved Shred, improved Prowl, Berserk Jungle Stalker, Savage Roar, and Drought of Deep Focus. So really changing completely with gears here on Feral Druid. Focused on bleeds, trying to get multi-dot damage for AoE situations, which again is going to benefit you in PvP. Maybe you're going to be competitive in rated BGs and area of effect comps. But if you're looking for single target burst, I don't know if you're going to be able to get that same type of damage that you've been able to get with like the big bites with this type of build. So a big win for Druids who want to play their Druid that way, but kind of a loss for Druids who want to play it in the burst way. Resto Druids here. And hello, Resto Druids. The new Restoration Tree will be sprouting into the next beta build with spell changes, layout adjustments, multi-point node reduction, and new abilities. Players can also expect many previously not yet implemented talents to be ready for testing. We would like to give you our thoughts on some of the upcoming adjustments. Build diversity and support. A good amount of feedback for the Resto Druid tree is that it's felt very similar to the current Shadowlands build, and there weren't many variations to playstyle throughout the tree. To open build diversity, we focus on adding new tools to existing builds to change their gameplay and create spells to support new playstyles. Lifebloom, for example, is seeing more talents throughout this tree now. Mastery mattering. Resto Druid's mastery is a very compelling stat, but generally does not have a lot of areas of the game where it gets to shine. We are looking at old bonuses and new effects to incorporate mastery further into the spec and give players more reason to think about their heal over time placement as they parse their group's damage intake. Layout changes. The layout of Resto Druid tree has changed significantly from its previous iteration. The new layout is intended to provide more options and improve pathing. Here's what you can expect to see. So trying to get away from any sort of cookie cutter builds, I think it's still going to be an inevitability that in given situations, you'll have a cookie cutter option. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. But now focuses on a lot of Lifebloom talents is what I remember reading here, and wanting to get your mastery. So extending your hots and avoiding purges is going to be really important in PvP. Let's see the new talents and abilities. Nature's Splendor, new talent, row 3. The healing bonus to regrowth from Nature's Swiftness is increased. I don't even know if Nature's Swiftness really needed to get any stronger than it is. It's already really strong. Flash of Clarity, new talent, clear class regrowths, heal for an additional 30%. Waking Dream, new talent. Ysera's Gift now heals every 4 seconds and heals for an additional 5% per each active rejuve. Okay, It's going to be a lot of healing from Ysera's Gift. Nurturing Dormancy. New talent, row 6. When your rejuvenation heals a full target, its duration is increased by 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 9 seconds per cast. That is crazy for rolling hots on your partners and maintaining your mana. Dream State, new talent, row 6. While channeling Tranquility, your other druid spell cooldowns are reduced by up to 10 seconds. You get a little bit of like a quick pick-me-up on your cooldowns. Not really that impactful with only being 10. Verdancy, new talent. Also, as a druid, you're often using your Tranquility to live in PvP. But, I mean, in PvE, this might be a decent reason to get you to press Tranquility. Verdancy, when Life Bloom blooms, up to 3 targets within your efflorescence are also healed for X. Okay, so that's basically only going to be in PvE and AoE situations where you have efflorescence on the ground, getting you a bit of cleave healing. Budding Leaves, new talent, row 9. Life Bloom's healing is increased by 6% each time it heals, up to 90%. Also increases the final bloom amount by 15%. Are they trying to bring back TBC Resto Druid's Life Blooms? Embrace of the Dream, new talent. Wild Growth has a 100% chance to momentarily shift your mind into the Emerald Dream, instantly healing all allies affected by your rejuvenation for X. Again, really AoE focused on things like Mythic Plus, maybe RBGs, but that's definitely going to be more for PvE. And Regenerative Heartwood, new talent. Allies protected by your Iron Bark also receive 75% of the healing from each of your active rejuvenations. So if you got a lot of cleave healing going out onto the raid, you Iron Bark the tank's going to benefit from all of that. In PvP, it's the same case. If you're Iron Barking a target getting bursted, it's going to get healing from redos on other targets, even if that main target's getting purged. So that could add a little bit more of interesting gameplay to it. I wouldn't say that these are as like mind-blowing to me as the priest updates that we've seen recently. But it's nice to see something new for Feral Druids. It's been a while since at least we've had like a bleed build for it. Resto Druid, I'm gonna have to jump on and see how likely it is that a lot of these builds are gonna have some options and choice moving forward. Some of them stood out more than other ones, but we're gonna have to wait and see. And of course, I really want that Balanced Druid update. Like I after seeing mages get Frost Bomb back and like quasi deep freeze and all the stuff Priest is getting, like, you gotta give me some stuff with Moonkin, man. You gotta give me dot ticks, have a chance to give me an instant Star Surge. That was the most fun iteration of Moonkin for me, is when that talent existed. It was the old Shooting Stars. Maybe bring back some Wild Mushroom stuff. Like, I want to see something a little bonkers for Boomkin moving forward. But that is it for this update here on Feral Druids and Resto Druids. Once again, if you want to stay up to date with all of these news and changes related to classes, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, I will set you free. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.